Right now, police in Denver are looking for the driver that blew through a red light and killed a cyclist. It happened at 13th Avenue and Syracuse Street just before 7 a.m. on Wednesday. Police say that a driver in a Ford Explorer kept going through the red light, hitting a man on a bike. The driver took off on 13th. The cyclist died. Police say that the car should have damage to the driver's side front fender and rear view mirror. They're asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers.
Colorado has seen an influx of fatal crashes. It's been steadily rising for the past 3 years now. Fatal car crashes have turned back up starting in 2019, and last year was the worst year on Colorado's roads in nearly 2 decades. 9 Wants to Know reporter Kevin Vaughn spoke to the father of one of the latest to die. He wants his son to be remembered and to potentially spark a deeper conversation about what's happening in Colorado right now.
He's my rock, you know.
Pride and pain mingle.
I could go through the encyclopedia or dictionary right now, couldn't come up with enough words to describe him.
As Stephen Johnson grapples with his son's death.
I am numbed at times and incapable of feeling, and then other times sad as hell and emotional as a mess, somewhat where I kind of am right now. So
it was early the morning of July 30th near 40th and Pena. A man police believe was drinking and speeding crashed into Jake Johnson's Volkswagen, killing him. The suspect, the leader of a popular car club, fled. At the time, that man was on probation after being accused of firing a gun into a car.
He shouldn't even been on the road.
Taylor Lindsay turned himself in 3 days after the crash. He faces multiple charges.
It was tough to look at him. As angry as I was, I also know there's a human being in there somewhere. And I'm sure he would take it back if he could.
Stephen Johnson has no ill will toward car clubs, but he's determined his son's legacy will be work to curb dangerous driving.
Your passion for cars are awesome, but we don't need drugs, we don't need alcohol involved, and we certainly don't need to be racing on public interstates or any roads, period.
Jake Johnson was delivering pizza when he was killed, a second job to bring in some extra money. Just the day before the crash, he'd put in his notice. In the meantime, Taylor Lindsay, the suspect, is due back in court on August 24th.
A Denver police sergeant has turned himself in. He's accused of making sexual advances toward a minor. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says it's been investigating 45-year-old Timothy Hyatt for 6 months. They say that Hyatt used multiple online identities to make sexually explicit advances to the person he believed to be a 14-year-old girl. He's facing 1 count of internet luring of a child. Hyatt was with DPD since 2005. He's now on paid administrative leave. Denver police say their own administrative review and disciplinary process will start after the criminal case. There are resources and support available for survivors of sexual assault and abuse. You can call the Colorado Crisis Services line anytime, 24/7. That number is 844-493-8255. And the group Blue Bench runs a hotline to support survivors of sexual violence. That number is 303-322-7273.
Deputies in Arapahoe County have arrested a former soccer coach on charges tied to child pornography. 63-year-old Bud Harper was arrested Wednesday after a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They told the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office about child pornography being traded from an IP address in the county. Harper is in jail facing 17 counts of sexual exploitation of children. He works for the Real Soccer Club as a coordinator and has also worked as a coach. In a statement, Real Colorado says his arrest did not involve any players in their program.
It's been 2 years since a wildfire that started all kinds of headaches on I-70. The Grizzly Creek fire started on August 10th, 2020, right off the highway near Glenwood Springs. It didn't burn any homes, but it did scorch Glenwood Canyon. I-70 was closed for more than a week after the fire first started. That stretch of highway's longest closure ever, until last summer when bad mudslides smashed up part of the road. CDOT crews are still making repairs to the canyon to make it safer from rock slides. And we have not seen any mudslides or bad flooding there so far this summer.
We are still not getting straight answers from the Colorado Democratic Party after Senator Pete Lee of Colorado Springs was indicted on a felony charge. In an audio recording, it shows that Lee told the Democratic Party's attorney that he was in possible legal trouble for registering to vote in a home where he did not live. The Democratic Party denied knowing about it before they knew we had the tape. Lee faces a felony for registering to vote in a small house he owns in his district in Colorado Springs, and not the large home that he owns with his wife on the other side of the city, outside of the district. The audio recording that was taken in the Senate in 2020. Lee is overheard saying that could lead to a felony charge. He also said he's gone to Senate President Steve Fenberg, who directed him to the party attorney, Martha Tierney, who did research on the issue. On the tape, Lee is heard acknowledging he doesn't sleep at the rental property where he was registered to vote.
I don't spend the nights there. And so that's a little bit of a challenge. And so I just don't know what the hell's going to come of it.
Well, what came of it was a grand jury indictment. The Colorado Democratic Party falsely told us that they weren't aware of his residency issue, while the audio tape clearly indicates they were. Since we pointed that out, the party has stopped responding to our questions.
Well, one thing about the weather today, it's hot and dry again, except in the mountains. That's where you could see some showers and storms today, expecting a record high of 98 here in Denver. That would break our daily record of 97 set back in 2020.